What's going on, everybody? This is can anybody hear? Can you hear me in the chat? Let me know down. Edwin, what's up, man? Can you guys hear me? First off, all right, awesome. So this is my first stream. I just wanted to do this, just because I've never done it, and if you guys have any questions for me, if you want to know what's going on, just a way to interact. And I got some time to kill here on Saturday night, so I figured to hang out with you guys. So leave it down below in the chat if you guys want me to answer some questions or just want to hang out. That's all. Reason why is a solar demo on the horizon. I mean, yeah, honestly, yeah, I would love to get a solar guitar on this channel. It's just, man, I'll be honest, there's so many different guitars that are on the horizon. Like Ibanez just has a whole bunch of stuff coming up, like the one where it's like the color changes, where it's like green and blue and purple, and it's a fan fret multi-scale 7-string. And I really have never really played a 7-string, so like that one is on the horizon. I don't want to spoil it, but there is a vintage guitar, a very, very awesome vintage guitar in route in the mail. My first like real vintage guitar. Like I have like a 92 Les Paul. That's like, I guess, considered vintage, but that's not really that old. But like this one's going to be like 41 years old. So I don't want to spoil that. I'm really excited for that. But is solar guitar on the horizon? Long story short, yes, eventually. I gotta prioritize. You know what I mean? If you can have any production guitar, amp, and bass, what would it be and why? Oh my God. All right, so we'll start with bass because that's easy, and I'm not really a bass player. I'd go with the brand new Schecter, either the Evil Twin or the Evil Twin, like that amber and like the gray like fade, but in the bass with the Fishman Moderns in it. I like that stuff. That would definitely be my bass, my go-to bass. I have one bass now. I don't even have two basses anymore, just because I really don't use a bass like a traditional way. I just like bang on the low B or E string, whatever, and that's really it, man. So I got rid of the Warwick. The Warwick broke. I got my refund on that. The bridge broke on that one, so I got rid of that. But definitely that would be my bass, Schecter bass. Amp. All right, we're talking real amp, like not like an Axe FX3 or like a plug-in or anything. Real amp, and I'll give a cab, matching cab. Honestly, it'd probably be the PV Invective 120. Reason being is because it has so many things built in, and I love when things are built in and I don't have to use a whole bunch of external stuff. The Invective has the XLR with the simulated cab, and then it has a noise gate built in. And I feel like those are like the two main things that I look for when I'm using like a plug-in or like an Axe FX, is like the ability to record it quietly and then not use like a noise gate plug-in on the actual like guitar track. You know what I mean? Like that never works. It always sounds weird and it cuts out when you don't want it to. But having the gate built into the real amp, like I think that's amazing. And it has like 8 channels in total, so like the tonal variety is all there. So definitely the PV Invective 120 is the dream amp. And a cab, I'm going to be boring. I'm going to go Mesa Boogie 4x12 with the vintage 30s in it. I have one at my mother's house. I brought it. It was in the early channel days of this channel, and I moved it back to my mother's house when I got out of the Army. And it's just been sitting there, man. Like I have no use. What am I going to use a 4x12 in this room for? You know what I mean? Like that cab just sits there for now. But that'd be the dream cab. And guitar, production guitar, I would say like a 1979 Gibson Les Paul Custom, like the Adam Jones from Tool guitar. Like, dude, that is like the dream, man. Like, I just love that. Anything from like 79 to 81 with those guitars, man, that would be the ultimate dream. So, long story short, that'd be my dream like rig. Man, all right, we got some people watching. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. This is my first stream ever, so I'm really naive with this on how to like, keep the flow going. So I'm just going to answer some questions if you just tune in. I really, really appreciate it. Do you like baritone guitars or 7 vests for low tunings? Would you ever buy a baritone? I've never played a baritone. Well, I mean, I played like the Ibanez Meshuggah 8-string guitar, and that was like a 29-inch scale. So I guess it's like a baritone, but not really, man. I don't really like baritone. I don't like. It's hard to explain. Like I'm such a traditionalist and such like a dad at heart. Like what I mean by that is like I love like Les Pauls and Strats, and like I love like the old guitars, but I like when they're like modded to modern stuff, like the Jim Root stuff. I Jim Root should send me a check, man, for how much I talk about his stuff, man. Like all kidding aside, like I love his Tellys and his Strats. Not so much the Jazzmaster, but his Tellys and his Strats because they're old style guitars with the modern like sleekness and active pickups, and I just love that. So I try to like use what I like in lower tunings. I don't really like to use a baritone because then it's just like I feel like it's so limited to like only lower tuning stuff. You know what I mean? Like I like having the variety of just throwing on a heavier gauge of strings or a lighter gauge of strings if I want to tune up, rather than just having a baritone. And then one day if I want to play in standard tuning, I can't use that baritone. You know what I mean? It's kind of like having an 8-string. Like yeah, you can use an 8-string for like standard tuning, but then you have 2 extra strings that are in the way, and it's kind of like it's only used for that. Like it's a tool for that job. You know what I mean? It's not versatile. I hope that makes sense. Excuse me. Alex Radford, what's up, man? I dealt with Schecter warranty this week. They're amazingly good. That's good news. I'm getting a Jackson bass next week. Still looking for a Jim Root Telly. What are your thoughts on LTD? LTD. All right. That's a good question. So I had a LTD before I started YouTube in early 2017 in Fort Benning, Georgia. That was like the guitar that inspired me to like record myself before I actually did it. I never told this story. Excuse me, guys. But it was a Silverburst LTD. They don't make them anymore. But it was so hard to get because at the time I was stationed in Germany when I bought it. And then 2 weeks after I was stationed in Germany, I went right to Georgia. And then I played it. So it was like late 2016, early 2017, I was playing this guitar. And no matter how many times I messed with that guitar, I could not get the fret buzz to go away. And I could not get the setup right. It looked awesome and it felt comfortable, but the like playability was not like good. I don't want to say up to my standards because who am I to say, but it wasn't good. A lot of buzzing and a lot of dead spots on the frets, whatever. But then like I was playing like the Spalted Maple Red EC1000 LTD at Guitar Center in Wilmington, Delaware, which is right by my house. And like that thing was amazing, and I almost bought it. But I didn't. But overall, LTDs I think are cool. I think the quality control. This is all based on just my amateur opinion. I think the quality control is a little bit hit and miss from what I've seen. Just like the different things people say about them and what I've seen. But I think they're really cool, like starter guitars. Like they're awesome for people who are just starting out. But if you're like a seasoned guitar player, I would look elsewhere and maybe invest in the ESP E2 series. You know what I mean? So LTDs are cool, but it's like I feel like the visuals overshadow the playability. If that makes any sense. They look cool, but don't really play that well. I hope that makes sense, guys. Have you ever heard of Audio Assault amp sims? I'm not sure. I got my other laptop right next to me. I think so. I feel like is that like the is that the free stuff, the like red and black one? No, actually, no. I've never heard of them. Maybe I'll check them out. If you like them, let me know. Nice picks. Would take the bass and amps as well. Hey, thanks, man. What do you think of the new Abasi guitar thing? I think it's cool. I think it's really cool. I think it's awesome that a guitar player like Tosin Abasi and a couple other guitar players I'll mention here in a second, they're like taking the initiative to just like go for it. You know what I mean? Like they're competing with the heavy hitters, man. The Fenders, the Jacksons, the Gibsons, like, and it's a big middle finger to like those big companies in my opinion. And I think it's great. And I think companies like that, the smaller companies, they almost have to listen to what the consumer is wanting because they really, really rely on it. They don't have the reputation like Gibson had in the past and kind of lost now. But you know what I mean? Like I'll say Fender. Fender's always had a good reputation for the most part. Like Abasi competing with Fender is very, very challenging because Fender could make whatever they want. They can make a Strat It's the exact same from here until the earth explodes, and like everybody will be fine with it, I think. But like Abbasi has to give what the players want, and it's really challenging. But I think it's awesome because again, it's a big, middle finger to people that are well established and saying, you know what, I can do it just as well as you can. And I think it's awesome. I think it's important to support brands like that, like Solar Guitars, like Old England Man did the same thing. I think that's huge. That's awesome. even Kiesel. I mean, yeah, they're a big company, but in the grand scheme of things, I think they're a little bit lower than the heavy hitters. You know what I mean? So I think Abbasi Guitars is awesome, and they're offering fan fret multi-scale, 6, 7, and 8 string guitars with amazing woods. The prices are a little high last time I checked, but I mean, hey, if the quality's there and the market's there, I fully support that. I think that's amazing. I also think it's a little ambitious of Tosin to do that when he's not like an old retired guy like the Zach Wild audio stuff. Like Tosin Abbasi's like what, mid-30s now, and he's already has his own company. I think that's great, man. So I really think it's awesome. I don't know if I ever play one, but I think it's a cool concept, and I fully support smaller companies like that. You mentioned that you play live sometimes. How often do you gig, and what is your live setup? All right, that's a very interesting question. Live setup. So right now I'm playing. I'm a full-time student. I'm going to community college at the moment because I've gone to college, went to the Army, and now I'm almost starting over, going full-time for music. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Then I got hurt in the Army, and I wanted to be a police officer and do something with like ATF and DEA and stuff. But if I didn't tell you guys, I can barely lift my right arm anymore. So I'm going full-time for school. So right now I'm just playing for school, like doing jazz stuff and classical guitar stuff. I'm not playing very much metal at the moment. I try to sneak it in jazz a lot, and I get crazy looks from people. But my live setup right now, as of late, has been my 2 Les Pauls, interchangeable. The 2014 Les Paul Classic Custom with the flower pot inlay, and then my 92 Les Paul Standard, just because it was my Jim Root Strat, the maple one, for a while for that setting. But nah, I just like to, for what I'm playing. I'm playing classical. I'm playing traditional jazz, as well as a little bit of classical guitar with an acoustic. So, long story short, I just like to have like a more modest, guitar for the moment. So that's my guitars, my 2 Les Pauls at the moment, and then my setup, my actual, amp and pedal board. I'm using the Headrush pedal board in front of now. The school provides the amps. They have all kinds of amps, and usually I just use like a Roland 120 Jazz Chorus, or like a Fender Tweed, or like this little orange combo thing they have. I forget what it's called, like TC30 or something like that. So yeah, I just throw my Headrush pedal board in front of that, and then I'm good to go. I play a lot of clean stuff, and then if I need like a little bit of overdrive and delay, I just have the Headrush at my feet, and I just stomp on it, and it's good to go. So that's my setup at the moment. Do you still have the Fort and Grind pedal? Nah, I sold it. Again, kind of like what I just was talking about. Like, I don't really need analog stuff at the moment, and it was great. I didn't have any issues with it. Fortin makes amazing stuff, with Neural DSP, and then the actual analog stuff. I've only tried the Grind pedal, but I've heard so many good things about the Zool, and then the like splitter, like the spliff thing, whatever that thing's called. And then the amps themselves are absolutely amazing from what I've heard, literally from what I've heard. And but I sold the Grind pedal just because like I felt weird, man. Like I was running it in front of like a plug-in, or I was running it in front of my Axe effects. It was like, it felt like I wasn't using it for the right thing. I felt like I was just using it for the sake of using it. And it just wasn't gelling with me. You know what I mean? It's like running any sort of pedal in front of your Axe effects. It's like, no offense to those pedals, but you have everything in the Axe effects. And I don't know. I was just like, man, somebody could use this a lot better than I can. So I sold it, I believe, on like Reverb, for very, very cheap, just to get rid of it, just to give it to somebody else who really could use it. You know what I mean? It was a great pedal, but I just got rid of it. Criminal justice and music. You can investigate and prosecute bogus chipsons. Yeah, funny enough. Again, I got a vintage. I can't spoil it. I can't spoil it. Let's just say I was just doing research today, and I think I just kind of blew my cover. Never mind. I can't. Never mind. Uh, can you get a decent overdriven tones out of the JC 120? It's more known for its clean, jazzy tones. Yeah. No, you can't. You can't get any good distortion out of that. I do it on purpose. I'll be honest. Like I in class and in performances, I try to bring as much metal and rock as I can and get away with it as much as I can before I get yelled at. And that's not to be like, it's not to be like a dick or be like that guy, but I just do it because it's what I know. You know what I mean? I do not know how to play jazz. Like I know how to play pentatonic scales when it's my turn to solo, and I know how to like hold it down rhythmically, but like I don't know the fundamentals of jazz, not that well. I'm only a year into studying it, and rather than trying to be something and not, I play like what I know. And so like I'll put on like overdrive on my head rush, or I'll use the distortion built on the JC 120, and it sounds terrible. It sounds like the amp's broken, and but it's fun. It's fun, and I'm that guy, and I just try to stay true to who I am, I guess. What are your thoughts on PRS guitars? Ever own any? Yes, I did own one very briefly on this channel last year, right during my transition period of when I was living at my mother's house before I moved into my fiance's house, where I am now. God bless her. Thank you. I love her to death for that. But I own the Seafoam Green S2 for a brief period, and it was solid. It was a nice guitar, but it wasn't for me. I mean, it just wasn't for me. Long story short, it didn't feel heavy, it didn't feel right. So I returned it from the place I bought it from. I just wanted to try it. It's the only PRS I've ever owned. They're great guitars, but I think it's not really for me. I played the Mark Holcomb one down in Dallas, Texas last year when I went on a trip down at Sam Ash in Dallas, Texas, and that was cool. That was a cool guitar, but I don't like signature models, as I own 3 Jim Roots over there. But I'm not a real big fan of signature models, and it wasn't worth it to me to purchase that. I love PRS. I think they look awesome. I think they look cool. It's just not my style. All right, Marvin, take care, man. Good night. Question on strings and picks. Bear in mind, I'm still a new player. It's all right, man. What size picks would you recommend for speed, strumming, and do you think 10s are good all around for metal playing? Whole lot of Bulldog. What's up, man? All right, picks. I get this question a lot, and I'm I'm a little confused on the pick debacle, honestly. All right, so what I use is I use 2 picks exclusively for my playing style. So bass, I use these Dunlop. I don't know what they are. I don't know what they are. I found these Guitar Center and I bought them. So this is what I use for bass. Very stiff, very hard. I think they're like 1.5 millimeter. That's all I use for bass. But who really is here to talk about bass? What I use for guitar exclusively is Dunlop Tortex Sharp 1.14. These are the only picks I will ever use. And that's not to say I'm not egotistical, or I'm not like, this has to be what all my ride or anything. It's just like, this is only what I can use to play. And before I get to your string question, I bought these on accident one time. I always played 1.14s, but I always played like the normal shape, whatever you want to call it, like the rounded shape. And then I accidentally bought these like 5-6 years ago, and they were the sharp ones, and it was so brittle and it's so harsh, and like it sounded terrible, but I just stuck with it because I bought like 3 packs of them, and I was like, well, I got to use them now. And I just got super comfortable with them, man. And it's just like, I like how big they are, and I did the whole bleed tutorial, so to speak, and I explained how I use these like this, where like I grab it and then like use it as like a fist, and I really tuck it deep down into my fist. And because the pick is so large, it allows me to do that. And the sharp edges really gives me a lot of attack and a lot of fast playing. And it just like by accident, it's what I became accustomed to. And I've not switched picks for like 6 years now. I've only used these for 6 years straight. And it's just what I use. So for strings, 10s for metal, that depends on your your tuning, excuse me. For drop D and stuff, like I use 9s. I am not an ego player when it comes to like using strings. Like I do not like 11s or 13s or anything. I have little boy hands. Like I have giant palms and little fingers. So like any help I can get with strings, man, I use the lighter the better. I use 10 to 52 and like drop A sharp or A sharp standard. Like I use light strings. So it's all personal preference. I mean, Stevie Ray Vaughan used 13s for E flat. So I mean, it's all personal preference. I don't think strings are that important. Use what you use what's comfortable, use what will get the job done and what will stay in tune. So if you want to use 10s for metal, depends on your tuning, but hey, people use all kinds of wonky gauges for all kinds of tuning. So it's up to you, man. Use what you like, try things out and see what works with you. Yeah, you use 12s. I mean like it all depends on your tuning. Exactly, bro. Have you ever tried sharpening your picks on the carpet? You don't need to buy them sharp. You can turn normal tip worn picks into sharp. No, I never tried that on the carpet. Nah, I don't know what you mean by that. No, I've never heard of that. Guys, if you're just joining me, thank you so much. But I'm just hanging out, answering questions, just asking questions to you guys. If you have a question, just ask me in the chat, and we'll just talk. All right. Let's see here. The Audio Assault Amsons, Alex. They're cheaper but really good. Check out the new Hellbeast. Okay, Hellbeast plugin. So people have been talking about me not using plugins anymore for tutorials, and when I did the Tonality STL tones plugin, one guy said enough plugin demos already. Do something else. So here we are tonight. I'm trying something else. But yeah, I've been knocking out all kinds of plugins, man. All the JST stuff, the Fortin Neural DSP stuff. And hey, man, I'm just trying to show you guys all the different stuff that I use and the tonal varieties you can get with plugins. But yeah, I'll definitely check those out. I would think string height would be a big factor on the gauge of the strings in lower tunings as well. Yeah, that's very, very accurate statement. String height can really like alter your just results that you get with your guitar. I mean, you can have a great guitar, but if you have high action and or low action, it can play like garbage. I remember I had to mess with my black Jim Root Strat, which I absolutely love now because it's set up perfectly. But for a while, the action was so low that like anything would just fret out and buzz out, and I had to like constantly tinker with it. So I got it like in the sweet spot, and now it's just plays like butter. So you're right; it depends on the gauge as well as the height to get your result that you're looking for. Try rub the pick on the edge of the carpet. All right, man. I'll try that. I can't tell if you're like trying to set me up, but hey, I'll try it, right? Maybe I'll Google it first to make sure I'm not like a part of some kind of joke. How's that Evil Twin working out for you? It's great, man. It's great. I love it. Last time I used it, I was sick when I did the when I used the PRS demo, and yeah, it's great, man. I love the Fishmans in it, and I just love the model, the SLS C1, SLS Elite, whatever it's called. I'm not a big Schecter guy. I just love that model. I don't know too much about Schecter, but I love it, and it's sitting right over here. That's why I'm looking over here. It's like number 1 or number 2 right now in the chute. That and my Strandberg, man. I just love those 2 guitars right now. What are your favorite bands? What would you recommend? Dude, great question. All right. I'll knock out my favorite bands real quick. I love The Knot, man. I mean, I love Slipknot, dude. Like, favorite band of all time. Forever will be my favorite band of all time. Parkway Drive, Lamb of God, Meshuggah. I love Meshuggah. Drawing a blank here. August Burns Red. Even like old school classic rock, man. Van Halen's my favorite classic rock artist of all time. Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin. You know, the Sex Pistols, the Clash. I love all the classic rock stuff. But for current stuff, definitely Meshuggah, Slipknot, Lamb of God, Parkway Drive. Old Parkway Drive, not so much now. But who do I recommend? All right, you guys have to check out Ginger. Jinjer. If you don't know who they are, please, after we're done hanging out, go check out Ginger, man. They're from the Ukraine, female-led band. Amazing band. I don't want to sound like a purist or like an elitist or like a hipster, but I found them when I was stationed in Europe like 4 years ago, and they were relatively known in Europe, but I don't know how popular they were back here in America, but now they're huge and they're blowing up, and like their social media presence is absolutely amazing, and they're now touring the United States. And I'm very, very happy for them that they finally have put in the time and the effort. So again, Ginger, Jinjer. Check them out, man. You will not regret it. Tatiana is an amazing female vocalist. Check her out. Hey, man, your recordings are awesome and 10 out of 10 quality. Would definitely love to know more about the plugins you use, etc. Hey, thanks, Andres. I appreciate it, man. I don't want to say I've stepped up my mixing and production lately, but I've certainly put the time and the effort in. I have a lot of plugins that I use. I just did a demo of how I mixed Left Behind with Rufus, man. He was on bass on that. And I go through like a 30-minute video on how I use all that and how I use all those plugins in that. And all those plugins that I use are what I use about 99% of the time. So if you want to check that out, it's on my channel. But yeah, I'm really starting to like get out of my shell just doing covers. I'm kind of over covers for now. I still have some projects lined up, which I can't wait to do, but I want to do more, you know what I mean? I don't want to just be a cover artist. I want to do more original stuff, and then I want to teach you guys and just talk and just interact, man. That's what I love to do most, is just meet people on here and just talk and interact. 'Cause I'm just like you guys. I'm just another dude that just likes metal and the guitar. So, you know, that's all it is. I love Luda Muerta. Awesome. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. That's my EP stuff, my solo project. I put out 3 EPs in a year. The last one was like 15 songs, so it's like an album. But thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm good with plugin demos. In fact, I was hoping you were going to do the updated MRC by Ignite amps when it comes out. Sure, man. I'll be sure to knock that out. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of plugins. Plugins they're all well and good, but they all kind of sound the same and kind of do the same thing, with the exception of the Howard Benson stuff and the Fortin stuff. I think those are the only ones that sound different, unique, and awesome. Do you do your own setups and mods? Yes, and no. I do my own setups. I do everything myself. And mods, I don't really like to do mods. Reason being, this is weird guitar stuff, and I know it's gonna sound stupid, but like I don't take out the pickups or the pots or really much of anything with the guitar. I try to keep it all stock, just because like it left the factory that way. And no offense to anybody in the game, but I feel like it was made that way for a reason. And if you change the electronics or the quality of what's inside the guitar, you change the overall guitar, and it's not the same thing anymore. So it's like, I don't know. I don't want to mess with what's like not broken. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can like change pickups and you can change, you know, pots and everything, but like in tuning, you know, make locking tuners, for example, change the nut out. But it's just like, I like to keep everything the same, and it's just like a nerd thing that I do. I don't want to like, it's like having an action figure and you don't want to take it out of the box yet because it'll ruin like the value of it. I hope that makes sense. I don't really like to mess with stuff. I hope that makes sense. It's weird. I know it's weird. But it's just what I like to do, is just keep everything as it is and buy what you want how it is. And if you don't like it, don't buy it. Or just accept it. You know what I mean? So that's just my nerd thing that I do. ESP or Jackson? Jackson. Jackson's awesome. I love Jackson stuff. I've never physically owned a USA Jackson guitar, but I did play a King V once at a Guitar Center in like the Lehigh Valley area of Pennsylvania. And it was used, but it played like butter. And I'm not really a V guy. They're kind of hard to play, but just the craftsmanship was amazing. And they're more affordable than the ESP USA stuff. The ESP USA stuff's like close to like $4,000, and it's kind of steep. So I like Jackson. I think Jackson looks cool. Plus Mick Thompson plays Jackson now. Phil Collins from Def Leppard plays Jackson. You know, they're cool. I don't really like too many people that play ESP stuff. I guess Stephen Carpenter plays ESP and Brian Head Welch, but I don't really like Horn's guitar playing. I love the band, just don't like, the playing is not that exciting to me. So Jackson, hands down. Hey, grew up in Lehigh Valley, small world. Hell yeah. What about Dean Mix? I'm not sure what you mean by that, buddy. Have you checked out the Perfect Drums plugin? No, brother, I have not, man. I'm really, really sorry. I have not checked that out. I'll be honest, it kind of just I kind of forgot about it. I'll be completely honest, man. I've been so swamped with all the whole bunch of other stuff. I will get on that. I promise you, I will get on that. I'm so sorry. The Dean. Oh, okay. Dean MLX. I don't know what that is. Let me look at this. Dean MLX. I know what a Dean ML is. I mean, that's the dime guitar, but Dean MLX. Let's check this out. To answer your question before I actually look at what this is, I don't know. Sharpen my act. Dean. I owned a Dean Dime Slime, the production model back in the day. I don't like Dean stuff. I don't. It's nothing against Dean or anything. It's just like I don't like the. I don't know. Just I don't know. I don't like Dave Mustaine. I don't like Megadeth. So anybody that's ever used Dean guitars, I'm not really into. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. A couple more guys, I'm gonna get out of here. It's movie night. Me and my fiance, we're probably gonna watch some old school Halloween or something. So a couple more. All right. What would be my perfect guitar? Dude, how much time do you have? No, all kidding aside, perfect guitar. All right, I'll try to make this quick. It would be a 6-string fan fret guitar. I'll make it easier. A Strat body, bolt on, take the Jim Root body, but make it a fan fret guitar. Okay, let's say it's from Fender. Sure, Fender makes this. So a 6-string fan fret guitar, bolt on guitar. Fishman Fluence modern pickups, string through hardtail body, locking tuners, and the color is the most important part. Can I have 2 or 3? I go 3. I'm sorry. I'd go an all white with a maple board with white block. All these have white block inlays. By the way, I can't not have fretboard markers. I love fretboard markers. All right. So it either have a white finish with a maple board, an inverse silver burst, so a white burst around a black body with an ebony board, or a straight up seafoam green body with an ebony board. But if I had to pick one gun to my head, I'd probably go seafoam green, black ebony board. Gun to my head, that'd be my ultimate guitar. And like I said, let's say Fender makes this. I don't know. Have I tried the Jim Roots Jazz Master yet? No, I have not. That is the last of the Jim Roots stuff I've yet to try out. I've also heard he's got a new one coming out, maybe. I don't know how true that is. We'll see. But that's the last one I'm going to get. I'm kind of holding off just for now because all the Jim Roots stuff sounds exactly the same. And I was shooting them out for a while, but it was getting monotonous and boring because they were sounding exactly the same. The Tellys to the Strats, maple board, ebony board, Mexican, American, they all sound literally exactly the same. So I'm kind of holding off on that for now. What's my favorite guitar? The guitar that I own, that's my favorite, would be my 2001 Gibson Les Paul Studio Plus, the one my father gave me. He bought it when I was 11 years old, and then 9 years later, he gave it to me as a Christmas present. And then it just has the most sentimental value to me because he passed away from cancer 3.5 years ago. So every time I look at that one, it reminds me of him. And it doesn't really get any playing time anymore. It just kind of sits there, just kind of almost as a trophy. You know what I mean? Or a piece of furniture. It's just there for the memories. So that's what that one does. A couple more questions, boys, and then I'm gonna get out of here. All right, we'll go 5 more tops. Thanks so much again, guys, for watching. I really, really appreciate it, man. just for the record, you guys can hear me well. I mean, I know I asked in the beginning of this, but this is my first stream ever, and I just wanted to make sure like my audio quality is decent and everything works out. All right, another gym question. All right, Mike, can hear you fine. Awesome, thank you. Another gym question. Sure. What do I think of his amp? His signature amp, the Tiny Terror. I mean, that's cool for like bedroom players. I think I don't like about orange amps per se is they're not designed very well for like bedroom players. And I guess I'm a bedroom player, but I'm like a studio player. I like to think of myself as. And you can't play them quietly. They don't have any XLR outputs or anything. And but I think it's cool that he's with Orange because Orange is kind of like a dad company, and I love that. I love when companies that are old school make modern stuff. So I think like his Tiny Terror is solid, man, for anybody who wants to get a heavy little amp head. Man, it's awesome. And like the Orange Rock Reverb stuff, I mean, they're iconic. What more can I say? I love the sound of his guitar and his rig. So Orange is sick, man. I mean, I guess I like gym stuff much more than I like mix stuff. I never really liked mix amp and stuff like that. Rivera's cool, but I don't even think he's with Rivera anymore from what people are telling me. But like I love how Jim uses like the most like almost the most iconic dad gear stuff, and yet he like plays in Slipknot, which is one of the most or was one of the most in your face bands of all time. So I think that's cool, man. It's a big middle finger to everybody. He says you can't play metal on a Fender. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't care. He plays what he wants. It's awesome. Ever thought about making a guitar collection video? Yes. All right, Mike, take care, man. Yes, I have. I thought about doing that. Actually, like, that popped in my head today. Hand to God. I thought about, I'm going to do a guitar collection video. And I got a decent amount, but again, I don't know if you caught it in the beginning of the stream. I've got two things coming in the mail, but one in the mail that I cannot wait to get, and I want to show you guys. Like, I've had cool guitars in the past, but like this will be really, really special, man. And I think I might save it for when I hit 4K. If I ever do hit 4K, that'd be amazing. That'd be the ultimate dream, hitting another 1,000. But I think I might save it for that in the event that I do reach 4,000 subs. That'd be really, really amazing. But yeah, I'm thinking about doing a collection video. I think that'd be pretty cool. Any advice for newer players? I've been really hard time to teach myself, especially since I don't have the time for lessons. School and work take up so much time. I hear you, man. And I've been thinking about. I said this earlier in this stream. I've been trying to branch out and think about what I can provide for people in terms of what I can give for content. And I've been seriously debating on doing like a teaching series from beginning. Like a beginner stuff and maybe a little bit of intermediate stuff. So real quick advice, if that's interesting to you, let me know down below. I know I could teach as best I could and try to be as simple as possible because I've been in your situation in years past, man. When I was first starting, it's frustrating. But my advice, I just tell you what I did. Best advice I could give you is play the stuff that you listen to and that you like. Don't play scales. Don't play Mary Had a Little Lamb. Don't play like boring stuff because that is so like you might as well be doing like times tables or you might as well be doing like a Sudoku puzzle or something. You know what I mean? Like it's not fun. Make it fun. Like when I first started playing, all I did was play Led Zeppelin. Like I'd play Led Zeppelin 2 or I would play the Jimi Hendrix Greatest Hits that my father had. And I'd play along with it and I'd learn it and I'd show off. Not show off. I was a 10, 11-year-old kid, but I would try to impress my father because I was doing something that I liked and that he liked, and then it made it fun. Not only was I getting better at an instrument, even if you don't know theory or anything, just get your chops down. You can learn all the theory and all the boring stuff later. But as a new guitar player, do it because you like to do it. Do it because it's fun. Don't sit and play scales, man. That's my advice. You can do what you want, take it with a grain of salt. I'm just one guy. But playing scales is the death of a new guitar player. I really do believe that. Like, don't just sit around and like play stuff that you don't want to play. Play what you want to play, and then as you practice, just practice like Enter Sandman, cliche as hell. You know, everybody knows Enter Sandman. Play that, man. And once you get that down, get it down well. And once you get that down, then play another song. Play Master of Puppets or play your favorite band's song. Get that down, and then you'll have an arsenal of songs you could play along to your favorite band. And then you can go back. Once you have your chops down, then you can go back and learn, theory and scales and modes and how to solo and all that stuff that now I'm immersed in, and that I almost have to learn if I want to pursue a music career. I have to learn it. I have to know it. But I didn't. That's not what I started out with. That was just like that was the death of me, man. Like I wasn't gonna sit around and do that. I was gonna play a whole lot of Love and Heartbreaker, man, and show it off to my father as a little kid. So that's my advice for a new player: play what you like and go with it, man. It'll be more enjoyable. All right, we'll do 2 more, and then I gotta get out of here, guys. Any advice? Okay. Anytime, man. Thanks for the stream. You're welcome, dude. How the F do you have the money to buy so many guitars and gear? Like, I make things work. All right, Dill, you want to see some teaching? All right, I'll do that. Once I get a little more strict guidelines of what I want to do. That way, I'm just not jumping in blindly. I'll structure it out, and I'll start making teaching content. Hey, dude, I'm only 13 and I don't have any friends that like my kind of music. What should I do? There's people out there, man. I was that kid at one point in time. I was a metalhead, and I was a little bit younger, and nobody liked what I liked, and that's fine, man. Dig what you dig, man. You can be friends with people that don't like the music that you like. Like I told you, I'm in school right now. I'm the only metalhead in my, community of students. Nobody likes metal, but that's fine. Like I don't have really much of anything in common with these people other than we play music. But like I'm a retired United States Army infantry officer, former artilleryman. Like there's not many of me around, and that's not to say like I'm special. I'm just saying I'm weird in the grand scheme of things. And if you're weird or different and your group of people that you go to school with or whatever, like that's fine, man. Be who you are. Don't worry about trying to fit in and like what everybody else likes, because that's what makes you you, man. Like there's tons of people out there that like what you like, and it may seem like so permanent right now because you're in school and school's not fun, and it feels like nobody's like you, or like you feel like you only like your music and you're weird for liking your music or unique. Embrace it, man, because there's people out there like you, and it makes you who you are, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Hope that helps. All right, one more, guys. I mainly draw and make animations, but I did try to play guitar, and it's really hard. Well, hey, thanks for watching my stuff. I can't draw, but yeah, hey, thanks for checking out my stuff, man. I'll have to check out your animations sometime. Hey, I'm glad that helps, man. Really, just dig what you like. And we'll do one more question. Time-Lapse Studios, what's up, man? One more question, we'll get out of here. Anybody got one? So real quick before I answer, one more and get out of here. What I've got lined up is I have it's a collab of 5 people doing a cover song. Some familiar faces from this channel, you'll recognize them. Some new, some old. But I really want to branch out and try to get more than just like 2 people to collab. I'm going for 5, and I'm going to mix it all. And then they're all going to film their respective parts. And then I'm not sure who's going to film the video together. But I've got the bare bones skeleton of the song right now with the drum track and my guitars that are very rough. And I'm going to send it out to all them. They're going to send it all back to me. I can't wait for that. That'll probably be done in about 2 weeks, I'm hoping. Really, really excited. You've seen these people before. It'll be cool. And then I've got 2 guitars in the mail coming. And then I've got a couple tutorials, mixing tutorials I'm going to knock out this week. I might do one tomorrow. And yeah. Love your channel. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. All right. How long have I been into music? This will be my last one, boys. I'm out of here. How long have I been into music? My first memory is me sitting in my crib, my dad listening to 10 by Pearl Jam and Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. So this is 92. And that's like my first memory. I can remember getting my diaper changed. I can remember that. So I've been into music for 27 years. I hope that answers your question. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I know you guys are starting to leave. I understand. I'm going to do another live stream here soon in the next couple days. I'm going to put an event on YouTube, and we'll knock that out, and we'll hang out again. This has been a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. Stay metal, my dudes, and I'll see you guys next time. Later, boys.